Whose voices are you listening to? What are they influencing you to do? And is your own voice leading you astray? Welcome to PSA. My name is Felix if you're new around here. And if you're back, thank you for the continued support. I hope you're taking a chance to go through the past messages and sharing them with the first person that comes to mind. We hope to bring you some value and perspective, and please know you have a home here on our online community. Now, have you heard that saying that you are the cumulus of the 5 people you most surround yourself with? Well, what's not often said is that those 5 people have 5 of their own influencing them. So indefinitely, you are being influenced easily by over a dozen people outside your circle of 5. Whew. That was a lot of math for the first few minutes. I apologize if you're not a math major. Well, one day I was at the club, long time ago. Feels like another life ago. And this rough group of dudes walk up, and as they're walking up, my friend sees them and he leans over to me and he goes, just heads up, I thought I killed this guy. Yeah, I was as shocked as you are right now hearing this. Then they walked off, just the 2 of them, off to the side, and now both groups, our posse and their group, are just sitting here waiting to see how things are gonna go down. Well, they both split up peacefully, and their group walked away, and as my friend came back, he said, I left him bleeding on the ground after I shot him for doing a drive-by my house. But we agreed, since no one's dead, we're gonna forget about everything. At the end of the night, I had a lot to think about on the drive home, to say the least. But the main thing was, who had I let in my circle? What influence are they having in what my life is, and what can it lead to? To stay in our earlier theme of things, I'm gonna suggest 5 things to consider. 1, judging others. In John 6:44 it says, no one can come to me unless the Father who sent me draws them to me, and I will raise them up on the last day. It is written in the prophets, they will all be taught by God. Everyone who has heard the Father and learned from him comes to me. This statement is terrifying and quite freeing depending on where you are on your beliefs, because there is only one whose judgment matters, so you can let go of all your judgment of others. It's not our role, and I'm not saying be a sucker and not use discernment, but as the saying goes, only God can judge me, and that will be the only judgment that most matters in our lives. Now, usually judgment comes with a negative connotation, which brings up our next point. Number 2, speaking down on other people. In Ephesians 4:29, it says, do not let any unwholesome talk come out of your mouths, but only what is helpful for building others according to their needs, that it may benefit those who listen. You can feel a shift when a negative person enters a space, especially when they begin to speak down upon other people. And even though some of the conversation might be valid, there's a positive way to address these issues, and most importantly, with the person who's in question being present. Matthew 18 in the scriptures is a great study on conflict, but we're not going to go there right now. Do that on your own time. We need to positively call each other up to more and not condemn each other to less. Now, if you found yourself judging or speaking down about others, you may have found yourself kind of close to our next point. Number 3, comparing yourself to others. In 2 Corinthians 10:12 it says, we do not dare classify or compare ourselves with someone who commends themselves when they measure themselves by themselves and compare themselves with themselves. they are not wise. I find comparison oftentimes is a thief of joy. Have you heard of that term, doom scrolling? Or maybe you scroll down, maybe you scroll to the sides. It is a term used for losing your peace, endlessly scrolling in social media because of where it leads you. Even if you find some inspiration in your curated feeds after enough considerations of hundreds of thousands of people's perfectly curated realities that they present to you on social media, it will begin to chip away at your peace in your own situation because the comparison will leak into your reality. More often than not, we present to people who we want them to think we are and not what we're really experiencing. Do not obsess with comparing yourself to others. You have been divinely crafted to stand out and not to struggle to fit in. Now, number 4 is a tough one because we want to do stuff that we can be proud of, but we do not want to be full of pride. In Proverbs 16:5 it says, "The Lord detests all the proud of heart. Be sure of this, they will not go unpunished." I'm going to be honest, I don't do anything halfway, and I have no intention to be whack. I want everything to be dope and exciting, innovative and inspiring. I do want to do things I can be proud of, but we can't let what we do or what we have become who we are. Pride is a plague. And further along in the book of Proverbs, in chapter 18, it says that pride comes before the fall. I have found a good way for me to check myself is what I'm doing, what I'm proud of, is it going to serve other people and will it be God honoring? God will give you a lot to be proud of, but will not fill you up with pride. Now, speaking of plagues, our final point is negative self-talk. And I'll use skateboarding as an example. The last thing you want to do before you try something that might get you hurt, or maybe even kill you, is to have negative thoughts going through your mind. A lot of overachievers in different fields will refer to these times as locking in with their positive thoughts as being in the zone. Number 5, negative self-talk. Galatians 2:20 addresses it like this. I have been crucified with Christ, and I no longer live, but Christ lives in me. The life I now live in the body, I live by faith in the Son of God, who loved me and gave himself for me. The more we study the scriptures and who Christ is, you know you have no room for negative self-talk in a positive life. If you give him every negative space to fill, he will fill it with grace. We are called to be the head and not the tail. Our frequency flows from above and not from beneath. He calls us to be more than conquerors, and we need to accept this and move from victory to victory and not be victims, but victors. Woo! I got a little preachy right there. But think about it. Let all that bad go out of you and fill that negative space with a perfect, positive God's intention for your life. Now, I'm not hosting a pity party here. I honestly want to celebrate you, and I want to learn how we can all improve possibly from the choices that you've made. And maybe that's why you were led here today. But as for me and my journey, these are just some of the issues and a few of the verses that have helped me address what I'm going through. And it has improved not only my quality of life, but many others. So I'm looking forward to some of your insights and how to tackle some of these personal issues and maybe even some other verses you may think speaks to these points as well that we discussed today. Thank you for letting us be part of your circle. And until next week, let's love more, and I'll see you at the next PSA. Man, 5 scriptures and 5 points? I hope one of them brought you some value. And please check out some of these messages that we have here and share them with the first person that comes to mind. And don't be shy. Leave some stuff in the comments that has helped you out and some of your favorite verses. I'm looking forward to learning from you guys as well. Thanks.